Welcome to Riverbend Talon on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company and by Mr. Matt Van Voorhis. I think we're still on Town Club, and it's a sea shanty sing-along already underway here in downtown Alton and Morrison's Irish Pub. We got let's see, Kevin Gruen underway up at George's Local Brew in Jerseyville until 9 o'clock. Butch Moore and Matt Gadigan underway at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville until 9. Mo Pleasure underway down at Patrick's in Granite City. Open mic started at 6 o'clock at Old Herald in Collinsville. Dave Horton started at 5:30 going to 8:30 at Prairie Inn in Dorsey, and they always kick it off at about 6 o'clock for Experience Live Music Road down there in Belleville. They're continuing to kick at Big Pen every weekend, a festival, and Ed Linson kicked it off already at Copper Fire. Andrew Dahl at Benny's. I always call it
Benny's, yeah.
Yeah, Benny's Pizza. He'll go till 9. Alex Huck at 7 until 9. Then later tonight, singer-songwriter night at the venue in Belleville. And that's just night 2. Night 2 of what? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And Sunday, yeah.
All with a sponsor down there in Belleville.
Well, I think to keep something that many venues and that many bands and that many days a week going, you got to have a sponsor, man. You got to have somebody who's just putting the money up front, because if you're trying to come up with money at the last minute, this sort of thing would fall apart pretty quick, probably.
I believe it's Neutral Vodka, N-U-T-R-L. And our guest tonight loves playing with words. He does. Mr. Michael Snider, also known as Kooliverse.
What's up, Mike?
What's up, party people?
Yeah, so he not only likes playing with words, he likes playing with things that he finds and turning it into art. Just whatever he finds. And
Hoarder is what the technical term.
Hoarder.
Yeah. Now, I got a list of stuff. Let me shout out to the people. First of all, I want to start this out by saying hello to my dog, Chunky.
All right.
Because,
Chunky?
Chunky, he take him everywhere. I purposely put the radio on the station because he wanted to come down here. I almost brought him, but...
I was thinking...
I thought about asking you to bring him, actually.
Yeah? Is it cool if I bring my dog here?
Well, I'm not going to tell anybody. Are you going to tell anybody, Big Ben? We're not narcs.
Have you ever had...
I wouldn't even notice it was a dog. I'd just be like, what's up, Chunky?
Have you ever had a dog on the show?
No.
See, now...
We had a... What was that animal that...
the big lizard. I forget what it was.
We had a lizard.
Yeah, big bearded dragon. It was a bearded dragon.
Oh, man, bearded? See, I was going to bring my Himalayan bearded goat.
Miss Conkle.
Nice.
Which I don't think those even exist. Right. But honestly, it's weird you said that, because I was thinking about what I could have rode over here. And I was thinking about what the most ridiculous thing I could, dream up. And I came up with Himalayan bearded goat.
That
sounded kind of weird.
Not only would that be a great way to get across town, but it would take care of the lawn mowing.
See,
there would be no more lawn mowing. The goat just eats it.
You know how you go to parties and everybody, their first question in the United States is, what do you do?
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I hauled trash, or the things I did were not things I wanted to think about while I was out partying.
Right.
So I started trying to think about what's the most ridiculous thing I can possibly think of. So every time Cold War spy, some stuff like that. Then I ran into this homeboy that I went to high school with, and he is he's a rocket scientist, and he's also a miniature donkey farmer. And I thought, man, I can't even come up with that. So that sometimes I may or may not use that, because he works for NASA.
Oh, here we go.
Him and his wife have a miniature donkey farm.
No wonder they can shrink donkeys.
I'm a cowboy astronaut. That's what he said. I'm a cowboy astronaut.
I hear that.
So this is a true story. So I've been married 23 years. My starter marriage still. Just on my starter marriage, but it's 23 years into it. That's what I tell my wife anyway. Anyway, when I met her family, the first time I have dinner, I had met her mom once, and I had met her sister once or twice, but they have a big dinner in this big table, and they all go around and say what they do. And they're all, I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer. I'm a psychiatrist. Well, I'm a nurse, but I have my nursing degree and my MBA, but I just stay at home. What in the heck? And they get to me and they're like, what you said. I'm going, what do I say? When it gets to me, they're going to want me to say something. And I'm like you, man. Every time you go to a party and the first you meet someone, the first question, so what do you do? I feel like you're trying to size me up and determine where I fit in the protocol of life, and I don't really roll like that, so I don't care. So, but I'm thinking these people, like, they're going to want me to give an answer, so I came up with this as they all said, Dr. Lawyer, psychiatrist. I'm like, I'm a folk singer, which wasn't even true at the time, but it seemed like about the lowest thing. Don't expect.
You're lucky they didn't put you on the spot and make you bust something out.
I didn't have a guitar. I would have made up words, right? If they would have said, "Sing me a song," I would have done it, man. I would have.
Maybe we'll do that if we run out of stuff to talk about. We'll
just start singing
impromptu
songs.
folk song. That could be hot.
He'll start singing anytime we go through this list we go through. He just impromptu sings it on command, pretty much.
I don't mean to.
And we also point out to our listeners, you might not want to trust what he says, and he just proved that he might tell a lie at a party. I'm just saying.
I am a cowboy astronaut. I really am a cowboy astronaut.
Fiction is entertainment.
I still can't figure out.
I want to be entertained. I want to hear tall tales like fiction.
Well, I got one. How do you shrink a donkey? If you
Oh.
got miniature donkeys, do you shrink them or they just come out little? And if so, how do you keep them small?
You've seen them, dude. You've seen those little miniature horses, man. Little kids get on them and stuff.
Okay, so
Pygmy
you take
ponies.
a miniature horse and a miniature.
Oh,
Is this how it?
You-
Because
you
they
know,
made. They
you know
made,
how to make a little bitty elephant.
Right, they
You
made
take
horses.
a potbelly pig and an elephant
Okay.
and give them
What?
both liquor.
Now, see, that could be made up. I don't
okay.
know.
All right.
But horses and mules mate to make.
Donkeys.
Or wait, do donkeys? Is it donkeys or mules that mate with the horse to become the other one? I don't remember, but something like that.
I don't know. Once you see the bride and the bro, you don't want to think about
Right.
it anymore. You never want to think about any of it ever again.
yeah.
Well, he brought
I
up,
didn't see that at Alton Little Theater, just so you know. I saw it.
he brought up going there, so I had to.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm still trying to pick.
When he said that, but of course, as soon as he said miniature donkeys, I got
Excited?
I got pygmy ponies going in my head. I got Frank Zappa singing to me about pygmy ponies and dental floss in my head. But I was thinking the same thing. Like, I've seen some pretty small donkeys, but how small are we talking?
Yeah.
I didn't
Like
actually
table
witness
size?
one.
Yeah.
But if you're in the market, I got a guy. I got a guy.
Who works for NASA?
Yeah.
This is, hey man, I don't think this conspiracy's ever been on YouTube, but it has now. So we're gonna hit that algorithm.
Man.
Looking for NASA donkey fans, miniature donkeys, of course.
Miniature donkeys.
Hey, I'll tell you something
want
cool
one.
to do.
I want one.
I'll tell you something cool to do. September 29th,
Yeah.
down at the Conservatory.
Yeah.
It's so cool, it's named cool. Kooliverse. And that's why Michael Snider's here tonight to tell us
September
about that.
29th.
One of the reasons,
That don't
yeah.
seem right. That don't seem right.
Is it? I don't know. Is that the
It
date?
is.
Anyhow,
Oh, is it?
Fourth,
Okay.
fourth Thursday. It rolls right off
No,
your
no,
tongue.
no. It's
Not
that's
anymore.
now.
that's
It's the
Oh, that's
last
the last
Friday
time.
of the month. Every month.
And
Yeah.
that is the 29th.
Yeah.
Okay. See,
Maybe
I was thinking it was the 28th because I was
No.
still thinking it was Thursday.
See,
No.
Yeah.
and I got confused
There
because
you
last
go.
time you were here, it was the fourth Thursday.
It
but
was. I
as
got.
soon as I, said
got
that,
upgraded
Yeah.
from Thursday to
remember
Friday. 'cause-
everybody moved to Friday because of trivia night tonight, right? Or
Thursday. Yeah, Thursday.
something like that.
You know,
It was-
I can't speculate. I'm going with I got upgraded.
There you go.
There you go.
I got
Absolutely.
promoted from
Yeah. From Thursday to
from
Friday.
Thursdays,
Absolutely.
and it was I got promoted from it was the fourth Thursday of the month, which I can't count.
Me
So that
either.
was always difficult. So now I'm the last Friday of every month at the Conservatory. You don't have to add, subtract. If it's the last one, that's it. It
That's
might be
it.
the fourth one. It might be the fifth one.
Okay.
But you've heard of it's an art event among other things, and a lot of these art events are first Fridays. Oh, first Friday, everybody's first Fridays. Oh, first Fridays is the thing. It's still a thing. Well, we're the anti-first Friday. I mean, if you want to throw something mildly boring on a first Friday, we want to do something weird on the last
Final
Friday.
Final Friday.
We're not
Right.
we're not playing with that first Friday.
Plus, it gives you 3 or 4 Fridays to think about it.
Well, depending on if you're going forward or back, it could.
That's true.
I'm
the
simultaneously
first
going
one
both
is one
forward.
week after mine, So it could be 1 week away. It could be 3 weeks
Man.
away, depending on where you're at.
Way too much math.
I know.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
do know
lot of
trivia night
numbers.
is going on tonight at the Conservatory.
Okay, well, that's our trivia
you
question.
Right. And one thing about the Conservatory is you can go see your art at any moment, Mr. Kooliverse.
You know what?
Because of the Conservatory allows you to store your art there.
It is his own private,
Little bit.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to tell y'all right now, go to the Conservatory, check out the art. It'll change your life. And I'm not kidding. And what I like to tell people is 30 years from now, you'll remember the first time you went there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's certain things like City Museum.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody remembers the first time they went to the City Museum.
Where you used to work.
Where I used to work, bingo. And, that kind of influence, that's my goal.
And your yard.
Yeah, and my house.
Right.
Well. So you said this the first time we met and talked about this. You said something that hit home to me. Well, we're just talking about what the things that we put work into, and love to do. And you said, well, what I really want to do is create an area that is so cool when people come into it, they don't want to leave. And I'm like, that with a festival, that's sort of the same sort of thing. You're trying to draw people in that you don't want to leave and go home. You just want to stay here till they kick you out.
And the thing that fired me up that you said was basically punk rock. I'm going to do what I do because that's what I do.
Yeah.
And that just, that's where it's at for me.
Guerrilla art, no rules.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
I do want to touch base at this. I'm going to run down a little bit of the schedule.
Okay,
Get that out of the way. So
So you
anyhow,
got guest artists and they get their
next,
own wall. Right?
yeah. My guest artist this month is Lou Ann Brands. She's currently got some work down at Jacoby Arts Center. Really good abstract artist. A lot of pastel colors. And we'll also have Steph Plant, an acoustic, local acoustic musician, her and her friends. This girl's a trip. Like, she's
we've had her
new
on,
age,
yeah.
like, buckle up. I don't know. She's really good.
We've had her on the show a few times.
Dig it.
Even had her play a song about a moth on there.
Yeah.
Right.
And she's been a steady for Kooliverse for a while
Yeah,
now.
she's got like the Vegas, what they call that, where like Donny Osmond plays every weekend. He's a residency. She's got basically a residency. Then we got DJ CBS.
Okay.
8 to 10, and then a band called Olive, 10 to midnight. Then for the guest artists for October, we have Joshua Booth. But I really want to let y'all know about the holiday season. The holiday season, we're pulling out all the stops. We're big stuff. So the last Friday in November, which is like the day after Thanksgiving, we're having a rave. And we're having Chris Dove of Perfect Productions. And they do all these big raves in St. Louis, and they're not playing around. These people are freaky, and I like them. Not only that, but Perfect stands for like peace, love, respect, something. So they're like wild, crazy, kind people that throw great parties. So come down to the Conservatory day after Thanksgiving for that.
Woo.
And then, and I'm going to be the guest artist, my own guest artist. I'm coming out with a new collection that'll be out the day after Thanksgiving, and we're going to talk about that later because
we'll talk about it closer to the date, right?
No, we're going to talk about it here in a minute after I get done mentioning a couple other things. But once I get started on that, that's a whole nother wormhole.
Okay.
But anyhow, then the last Friday in December, all the hometown like bands. We're going to have headlining is going to be Hope and Therapy. Nice. So I know a bunch of people out there know about them. They draw a great local crowd. So last Friday in December, Hope and Therapy.
Nice. Excellent, man. Excellent.
Nice.
So
he did the thing we've been doing the last couple weeks. He teased.
I know.
Right.
He's like a professional.
And like he did his own tease.
I know.
Usually we got to do the tease.
Yeah.
So we'll get back and finish up Thursday. And,
All right.
then
we're going to find out.
Yeah, 'cause
find
we
out
gotta
about this
tease.
new collection.
Right. So we didn't mention Riley and the Groove tonight from 7 to 11 at Past Eddie's. We did mention Trivia Night, 7:30 to 9:30 down at the Conservatory, and Danny Callagher, 7 to 11 down at Deutsch Village Inn. So that's all going on.
In addition to all the
Tonight.
stuff that we mentioned that's already underway. So
And there's
a whole page of stuff going on tonight.
there's kind of a spin-off of Kooliverse happening on Friday night down at the Conservatory.
Yeah?
Yeah. 3 live artists performing.
All right.
Lucious, Gentry, Ryan Raub, and Braedon, Favilla.
All right.
Plus, they're going to have bands. Crocodile Kings at 6. Todd Keith from 7 to 7:45. 8 to 8:30-ish. The Vertigo Swirl. And maybe I got that off now because, they're actually 8:45 to 9:30. I was looking at it backwards.
6 p.m. Crocodile Kings.
I think the art show starts at 6. And
Oh,
Crocodile
there
Kings
we
at 7
go.
to
There we
7:45.
go. I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then Todd Keith, 8 to 8:30, and then the Vertigo Swirl, 8:45 to 9:30. A lot to talk about because then they'll announce some raffle winners. Then Dezil's going to kick it from 9:45 to 10, setting up H7 from 10:15 to 10:45.
Nice.
Woo!
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's
going
my
on
girl Chloe putting that together. Shout out Chloe.
there. Yeah.
And it's going to be all the homies.
Yeah,
Nice,
I
man,
see that.
nice.
And the homies are they're actually a local group of friends.
Right.
So
Right.
if you hear about, they're kind of famous. Like you can go into St. Louis and talk about the Alton homies and be like, yeah, we know the homies.
Yeah. It's a lot of that, the people that started all this down on Broadway when they had their house parties, right?
Right.
A lot
The-
of
the
those
old
guys are the
Foxhole
homies,
and
right?
Metal Gears. Yeah.
That's why when you see on the Conservatory a post, it says, hey, homies.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Steady crowd down
I was
there.
just hanging out with my homie Justin down at the Mississippi Earth Tones Festival on Saturday, which Mr. Mike Snider here was the MC of. His first time heading out doing the MC bit.
It was a lot of fun. That
Fine
event almost
job.
killed me.
No, you did. I mean, it was a long day.
I was in bed for 3 days
It was a.
afterwards.
By the time you set up,
I just crawled out of bed to come here. I'm not even kidding.
So you were down there Friday night setting up.
Yeah,
setting
yeah.
up some artwork and scaffolding and getting your big kaleidoscope down there.
So I'm a weak old man, and got some young bucks to help me put up all this scaffolding for this show.
Nice.
So they show up, we put it all up, and of course I can't remember how I had it up the year before. So we put the whole thing up. This is like 2 stories tall,
Connected to big barrels that are
with
heavy.
all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
curtains and signs and stuff on it. 16 foot wide, 8 foot deep, 16 foot tall, and we get it done. We get it all together, and then I cut everybody loose, and I know it's wrong because none of the signs and curtains fit on it. And then after I cut everybody loose, I realized how wrong it is and how bad it looks. So then we had to tear the whole me and 2 other old guys tore the whole thing down and put it all back up again. It took us an extra 2.5 hours.
Yeah, but it was good.
Yeah, it looked, and you know what though? Thanks, Bill Suling. You helped me out because I was going to let it just roll looking bad because I was spent. I
You
was
were
spent.
tired, right? Yeah.
And he's like, no, my OCD's kicking in. We need to, make it look right. And I was like, no, we don't. And, finally I'm like, well, he's trying to save my reputation, not his own. Let's roll with it. So
Yeah.
we did it. And
Isn't it nice when you lose that inner fire, that motivation that keeps you doing all the weird stuff for just a minute, and somebody picks you up and reminds you? There's a reason we
that
do
same
this.
I don't give a care attitude that allows me to achieve greatness also, makes me want to just not care about failure.
Exactly.
Right?
So it's a double-edged sword, that not caring thing.
Well, that's that's the thing about art, music, and what you do. I mean, you're putting yourself out there anyways.
Yeah.
So I mean, and one thing I noticed about it, we actually mentioned it in the last time Mike was here. We interview professional wrestlers all the time. We're like, Mike's like what we expect a professional wrestler to be like
His
when he
intensity,
comes on, right? He's so intense. We want the wrestlers to be that way, but, he's kind of got that out his art.
I'd be more of a luchador, personally. But.
I will say this. The last group of wrestlers that we had in here, I cannot remember their names right off the bat, but those guys were intense.
Yeah.
Those guys were the most intense wrestlers we've had. But
I'm pretty sure that comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Most of them, you outshine them in intensity. You've got that. I'm cramming the world, but
I'm a little faded today. You guys have pepped me up.
Yeah, you're doing great.
All right.
And you had the coolest suit I ever saw Saturday night.
Big shout out Terry McGinnis. If you're looking for a tie-dyed suit, Terry McGinnis is your girl. When you spend the money to buy a white freaking suit,
just
and
to
then
tie-dye it, right?
the amount of time it took, it was like a $350 suit I wound up spending to get this. I spent $350 to get a tie-dye suit. I had to buy a white suit, and then I had to, have it tie-dyed. And after she tie-dyed it, she painted this galaxy on it. And I'm like, man, how ignorant am I? I'm unemployed. I'm spending $350 on a tie-dyed suit, and if it don't come out, what am I gonna like? How often am I gonna wear that? She did a banging job, man. I've been wearing that thing all over the place.
I was gonna say you're probably gonna wear that more often than you think.
Yeah, no, it's
slick.
hitting. Everybody's like, "Damn, that's cool."
Right, it is slick.
Hey, well, you were way more broke last time we talked to you because you just moved here from a van. Pretty much.
Oh well, well, I'm not as broke, or my income's less.
Okay.
It's like that.
I forgot to mention the open mic tonight down at Raging Cajun later.
Oh yeah,
I wanted to throw that in.
Raging Cajun.
I have a question. You called him an MC, and I started thinking about rap, and then I seen a post about the gallery battle.
Yeah.
What was that all about, or what is that all about?
Basically, I've been trying to get all these people from St. Louis to come look at my art, and they won't do it. And I've been trying to get in, do some stuff down there, and haven't been able to. I'm like, let's fight about it. Like, I'm gonna dance battle these people right in the street. Like, I'm calling you out. Listen, all you St. Louis galleries think you're cool. You think you got it? Come bring it. I'm bringing it to you. You know what I'm going to do? I'm on a Huffy Stingray bicycle out in front of your mama's house, and I'm talking jokes about your sister. And you can I'm telling all the kids on the playground, you ain't got it. What you gonna do?
That's the intensity that we're talking.
Yeah, no, I don't need you to agree to nothing. I'm calling you out. 31 Art Gallery. You're my favorite art gallery in St. Louis. If you like cool stuff, go check out 31 Art Gallery. The other place I like, Sophie's Artist Lounge. Young, hip, contemporary, cool stuff. And I'd love to show at both of them. And it ain't happening. And now I'm calling them out. And listen, you know what? I don't care if you like it or not. The worst thing that's going to happen is I'm promoting you. So if you got a problem with it, sounds great.
Oh.
That sounds like
not my phone.
That sounds like I forgot.
Now they're calling up right now. They just heard me and they're like, "What?" So anyhow,
that happened last time we interviewed him too. He got all these calls. Well, this festival's probably coming up.
I'm pretty good about turning my phone on.
No, him.
Okay.
His was blowing up during the interview.
I was on the last show, and we probably were like,
this is like deja vu. I'm just saying.
Oh man. And you're right. We got the festival coming up, and my phone is blowing up a lot. But I'm going to turn it down now if I can.
So basically, I made this post, and I called out smart galleries, and I said we're going to have a good old fashioned, not battle of the bands, not dance off. We're going to have a gallery battle, and people are going to nominate their favorite gallery, and then we're going to set up a bracket, and then you're going to have to. You're going to have to at least visit each gallery to get a vote, and we're gonna work it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is in the works, though.
It's in the works.
Okay, no official.
Even if people don't know it's in the 31 art galleries unaware that I'm calling them out, but I'm, once the other kids from class start.
Talking,
saying, Kooliverse has been talking a lot of crap out there on the schoolyard. And what are you going to do about it?
Right.
We're gonna meet after school.
We're going to meet after.
Yeah.
We're going to meet after school.
We're gonna meet after school.
I'm waiting for you after school.
Yeah,
You
behind.
don't have to show up.
No,
but
dude, I already know the spot. It's on Milton Road, right behind Reliable Radio. That's where
Yeah?
that's where the fights were after Milton School when I was a kid. I don't know.
Yeah.
I only got one fight when I was in elementary school. I fought my best friend because I lived out in the country.
Right.
And there was only one school bus that went by, and they picked up grades like 1st through 12
Right.
because it was so remote. So this senior, we all 3rd grade, whatever, you think the seniors are cool on the bus. And my best friend was, I don't know, listening to this senior, and this senior said, well, I don't know, you ought to fight your friend. And next thing you know, my friend wanted to fight me, so he was my best friend.
Wow.
So we wound up fighting, and then afterwards I was like, oh, Brad, I was making sure not to hit you in the face because I know your mom and I get along. I don't want your mom to get upset. She saw that or whatever.
It was a simpler time.
It was a simpler time.
It was.
Simpler
I think
time.
they just made all them brand new rules for the expo because people were fighting in school, right?
Listen, I grew up in the country. I'll tell you how country I was. The gang in my middle school was called the Herbiciders. All right. And they got their name because their dads would let them drive the tractor that sprayed the herbicide.
Right.
Like if you were like 12
Oh yeah.
and you might be Martinsville, Indiana. I'm kind of not anyhow. But if you were
in
12,
Martinsville, Indiana, if you're 12, you can drive to the store and get cigarettes.
maybe. I don't know about that. But there were kids that were 12 years old and their parents were letting them drive the tractors that sprayed herbicide.
Right.
Wow.
And they were the herbiciders, and you did not want to mess with them.
Well, no, they had access to a big tanks full of ammonia. You don't want to mess with
And
those
huffing
guys.
it. I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess with those guys.
Now, I
man.
was not that cool.
Dude.
I was never cool.
Did they have like
Ever.
jackets that said herbicide on them?
No, but
That would
Do a
be
little
awesome.
dance and clap their hands or something
I don't
right
know.
before they fight.
Oh, that would be
Oh,
awesome.
wait, that's a movie.
Yeah, no,
Anyway.
this real life sometimes, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it reminded me of riding our bikes behind the mosquito truck.
Oh yeah, man! Into the
Right,
belly of
those-
the beast, man. They got some DDT coming out of that truck. Let's see how close we can get before we veer off into the neighbor's yard.
All right. So not this Friday night, but the next Friday, the last Friday of the month, Kooliverse down at the Conservatory, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But let's talk about this Friday, where we got pianos down at open mic at 9, down at Raging Cajun. I'm still thinking about the open mic. Matt Taul at Lovejoy on Friday night from 7 until 10. Not too many nice days left to get out there on that patio, so you might want to take advantage of that good weather and go see Mr. Matt Taul. You will not be disappointed.
Nope.
He is cousins to Matt Van Voors, or brothers, possibly. We don't know. There's
Band
some kind
brothers.
of there's
They're
some
band
kind of
brothers.
love and touch and squeezing going on between those two Matts, and Matt's our sponsor,
Matt T and Matt V.
and so is Halpin Music Company. So also going on Friday night, Anthony Nanney and Company from 2 to 6, Truckers 7:30 to 11:30 down at Fast Eddie's, the Outlaw Opry out at Bakers and Hale, and Godfrey from 7 to 11. First festival here, first Veterans Festival, taking place out at the Cottage Hills VFW. Starting at noon, going until 10 with Guilty Pleasure, playing at 5. 2 nights of that. We'll get to the second night later. Tragg Band, 7 to 10 at the Moose in Wood River. Lanny and Julie out at Laux Brickhouse in Bethalto from 7 until 10. Hey, the Wildie, the Man in Black, Johnny Cash tribute,
Nice.
taking place at the Wildie Theater on Friday night. The Melodies right across the parking lot at 9 after the show. Check them out at the Back Bar in Edwardsville. Sweet Bottom around the corner from 6 until 9 at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville. And they're having the Edwardsville Arts Fair this weekend, and presenting the work of 90-plus talented local, regional, national, and international artists, local performing arts, live art demonstrations, a children's-only art gallery shop, and that's taking place on Friday from 5 to 9 at City Park in Edwardsville. Robert Perry and the Mojos, 6 to 9 at the 1818 Chop House. They're calling that the Summer Send-Off as we approach the solstice this weekend. Jared Lutz, 7 to 11 at the cabin of Judy Creek Cottage Hills Wrestling Alliance. The bell at 7 o'clock. They're in Glen Carbon at the Sports Academy. On Friday night, Lazy Lester down in Granite at Pavilla's Place from 7 to 10. Flipside Light at the Elks in Granite at 7. Scrumpy-looking Nerf Herder, 6 to 9. In Machine Gun Alley, which is the outside venue at the Speakeasy in Granite City, as we're starting to learn about that, Big Ben.
Right.
Cool place. I talked to Scott from Scott and Michelle, and it's like a museum, he says, when you walk in there.
Okay.
A lot of old-fashioned stuff at the Speakeasy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Benbow City Shuffle, 5:45, doing the fish fry at the American Legion in Collinsville. Scott and Carl, 6 to 9 at the Loading Dock in Grafton. The Intrusion at Grafton Pub from 7 to 11. Dave Caputo, 7 to 10 at the Bloody Bucket in Grafton. Dan Sproat, 3 to 7 at Aries. And that wraps up Grafton. They have a hot air balloon festival this weekend. We talked about this last year. Gates open at 4. First launch at 5:30. Hicktown, 7 to 11 at Village Park on Duncan. And all the proceeds benefit victims of human trafficking in our area. Having a tough time tonight, Big Man. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But, yeah, more stuff
doing
going
great,
on.
man.
More
You're doing
stuff
fine.
going on Friday night on the outskirts, including Feel all the way down in Carbondale. Fat Kitty, Big Ben. I know you love their name.
I do
Fat
like
with
that
a PH,
name.
right?
And Johnny Dangerously.
Right.
Schmitty's in Belleville.
Yeah.
Remember that movie, Johnny Dangerously? I hadn't thought about that for a long time.
And that's to go along with Experience Live Music Row, which has Bloodshot Red down there.
Yeah.
And at the H-Bar, we might as well mention it now that we
All
brought
right,
it.
yep.
Mojo Rising at 8 o'clock. And kudos to Belleville.
Yeah, they got
Cranking
a
it
little,
out.
little popping scene happening down there. So
And
very fine, very fine.
you know, they're putting on the Rocky Horror Picture Show
I
down there.
did see that live, doing it live.
That'd be
Yeah,
interesting.
that would be fun. I remember so in Upper Alton, I guess we're like it's an auto parts store, maybe an
Yeah,
O'Reilly's
yeah.
or something. Now, it used to be the Alton Center.
I remember.
And they did the midnight showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show back in like the early '80s or whatever. Man, it was fun as a kid just to go up there, and even if you didn't get in, just to watch all the people dressed up coming in and out, you know, because I was too young to actually get in at that time. But
Talking
so
to Mr. Michael Snider, a.k.a. Kooliverse.
Kooliverse.
He's got the Kooliverse Universe kicking it last Friday of every month down at the Conservatory, and that will be next Friday night. And have the band Olive playing, huh? At 10
Yeah.
o'clock. Tell us about them.
Couldn't tell you.
Okay.
You know, if they were standing right next to me, I'd have no clue.
Okay.
They're somewhere in between classical opera and punk rock, I'm sure.
Perfect.
All right, so let me ask you something you do know about.
All right.
There's a new line of Kooliverse art coming out. That's something you'd know about.
That was a tease.
Tell us about that.
Everything I make, I want the next thing I make to be the biggest, baddest thing I've ever done. Anything less is boring. I tell you, the last 5 years of my life have been a rotating schedule of this. Make something, think it's really cool, think it's going to go big. It comes out, crickets. I get upset. I decide I want to make something bigger and crazier. I do it. It comes out. Crickets. I decide I'm going to make something bigger and badder. So this has been going on for a long time now. Stuff's getting pretty big. I've got a 17-foot long kaleidoscope.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I'm
The Elton John.
where
how-
is the line where the world will go, dang, that's just crazy. So I'm getting stupid. I'm kind of shout out to my dad. My dad passed away. So I'm spending my entire inheritance on crazy stuff, and I'm gonna blow. I'm not married. I don't have any kids. I'm probably gonna pass away, and my stuff will be worth even more after that. But I'm gonna burn out. I'm not gonna fade away. I'm gonna punch it. So
He's got
here's
his motor
punching it.
running.
Yeah, like let's just do something let's do something great on my way out. So my next artwork's about dedicated to rap music. So a lot of my art has to do with music. So I got this 6 foot 4 inch tall, 4 foot wide altar from a church from the 1800s. They used to have a 5 foot statue of Jesus in it. So I got that, and I'm sticking a $500 bust of the god Apollo in it. Apollo's got some real gold, like what rapper gold chains. Like I got a 36 inch, like 1.5 inch round gold chain, a Wu-Tang Clan Cuban link chain, and an NWA chain. So I got this $500 marble bust of Apollo from Budapest, imported the thing from Budapest.
Wow.
Wearing all these rapper gold chains. It's the artwork's going to be called Gods, Kings, and Pharaohs. I've got 2 statues of King Tut. I've got a statue of the Hindu god Krishna. I don't know. I can't remember. There's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's the dude and the creator guy, not the female destroyer chick.
Right. That's
Shiva.
Krishna.
Right. It's not
Yeah.
whatever the
I believe you're talking about Krishna.
Krishna, something like
Krishna?
that.
Yeah.
Maybe him.
Google it.
Right. Then for the background, I got that real brown Louis Vuitton, like like how all the rappers used to wear that. Like, shout out to Dapper Dan. If you don't know,
Okay.
back in the '80s, man, they were all, especially that East Coast, they were wearing all that Dapper Dan stuff, and Dapper Dan was that guy. Love it. Check out the documentary on him; it's fantastic. But he was that cat, African American gentleman who. Basically took knockoff Louis Vuitton material and made all these like suits that like you would see a handbag made out of, and he was making like entire suits and hats, and like these rappers would be decked out head to toe, and like I'm talking,
Right.
what I'm
Oh, yeah.
talking about if
I
you're old
do.
enough, maybe allegedly.
Allegedly.
So I imported some of that from Italy, and then I got a painting of Nas in a general suit. I got where's my notes? Okay. Then I got a painting of Snoop Dogg in some like royalty stuff. Then I got Notorious B.I.G. I got Biggie in there. There's my top 3. And then kind of surrounding them, I got Tupac, and I got Outkast, and I got Most Def. I'm not sure I'm going to get anybody else in there because this is, for Gods, Kings, and Pharaohs. But, I mean, I'm going to have most of my artworks.
I'd have to throw in the Beastie Boys.
Right. No, you know what? This is part of it.
Yeah.
The debate of,
Yeah.
Who
top
belongs
top
on-
rappers of all time. It's, like,
Run DMC.
give me your 2 cents,
LL Cool J. I'm going way back.
No.
Yeah.
LL. No. Listen, you know what? It took me I'm 52. It took me 50 years to admit this.
Okay.
I was in a dance crew, like when I was in high school. Like,
Hold on,
we
hold
had
on.
this jam, the LL, like.
Were they called the not the
You don't-
herbiciders? But
Now, it was called the Indie Love Posse.
the
Indie Love Posse. We had airbrushed shorts, and we would do these dance routines back when. Now, like back in the '80s, people would. Well, I don't know, if people would, but we would go these. They had under 21 clubs in Indiana, which is a bad idea because it was like just a place to fight and do drugs and drink out. I mean,
Right.
not that they were serving any of that stuff up, but believe me,
It was there. It was
I
all
mean,
out
it was
back.
a madhouse, like crazier than any adult club you'd ever go to.
But they knew where you were all at, so they kept you contained.
No,
in
well,
one area.
I was raised by a single mother, and she had her hands full, and I got my friend across the street was one of the DJs so I could just hop a ride with him and be gone.
Right.
And anyhow, but yeah, man, there used to be this line dancing, and everybody'd have these, the Reebok and the Cabbage Patch, and there were all these like dances that you could learn and do, and people getting lines and dance in circles, and kind of like what you would see on videos,
Right.
New Edition and all that,
Sure.
back in the day. But
I'm drawing a blank on the style of dance where they roll on their heads and stuff.
Breakdance.
breakdancing, yeah, no, as a 13-year-old kid, oh man,
The Electric Boogaloo.
listen, man, breaking.
Breaking
came out,
Breaking
right?
too, the Electric
Listen,
Boogaloo, man.
No greater embarrassment than 80s pictures of you in parachute pants. All right, now listen.
Right?
Every decade had some seriously embarrassing stuff. The 80s were the most embarrassing decade.
Spandex.
Poofy hair.
No, it's pretty much started and
Poofy
ended
hair.
with those
Parachute
thriller
pants.
jackets with all the zippers on them.
And the parachute pants.
And parachute pants,
Yeah.
man, and big hair.
Oh, man.
No, listen, the 60s, 50s, cool, 70s, really cool. 90s were still pretty hip. The 80s were embarrassing. Go look at the hair bands.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I
that
looked through
stuff,
it. I know. I was there.
you know, but no greater embarrassment than the 80s.
So that music went all different direction in the 80s, right?
I will say this. I feel so fortunate. I don't think I would necessarily change the decade I was born. Like,
No.
the 80s, to witness the absolute birth of rap and hip hop
Yeah.
was a complete, unbelievable wave of American culture that is truly American. Like, I believe rap is one of the most American things ever.
So you can't talk about the birth of rap without mentioning Gil Scott-Heron.
Right.
Gil Scott-Heron, man.
That was not really rap, but
Nah.
he played a bongo and did poetry.
But if you was to watch, what's the guy on Channel 9
Right.
that does the 9-hour documentaries on bikes and all that?
Right.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Hey, Charlie Ryan, I don't know,
No.
but yeah, he I guarantee if he had a thing
The guy
on,
with the fake hair. Like, it's
I
like really
guarantee
old.
if he had a 6-hour thing on rap, he would start with saying you can't start without mentioning Gil Scott-Heron.
And you can't not mention the keyboards of the man they all sampled. Right?
Oh, jeez
Right?
almighty, man.
You can mention it.
The most sampled man ever,
Yeah.
I do believe. And,
that?
oh, man.
From Parliament.
Oh, man. I keep wanting, I started to say Victor
Oh,
Wooten, and I'm like,
George
I'm like,
Clinton. You talking about?
No.
His
Even
keyboard
before him?
player, who was 15 years old when he hooked up with Bernie
Worrell.
Worrell. There it is. Took me a minute to come with it. Took me just a second to come up with it. Bernie Worrell.
I knew he'd get there. I wanted to see.
Yeah, I started to say Victor Wooten right off the bat, and I'm like, wait, that's
yeah.
the wrong name.
Yeah, talking about some Bootsy Collins. You were talking
Oh,
about.
dude,
Well,
I've seen
Bootsy was with him.
Bootsy with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Bootsy with him, and Catfish Collins, his brother. Whenever James Brown fired his whole band one day because they were wanting more money,
Right.
He fired his whole band and just picked up Bootsy and Catfish
Right.
and said, "I don't need the rest of you guys.
Yep.
These two cats will cover what
No,
you do."
James Brown was hard like that.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah, but we had Ike Turner.
yeah, I
James Brown's competition right here on the east side
Yeah.
where rock and roll started.
Yeah, you want to talk about something to look into and make art about, man. The fact that
For real.
people don't realize that right here where we're at is pretty much where rock and roll started. You had
Right.
you
Johnny
had-
Johnson.
You had Ike Turner.
You gotta start with Johnny.
It kind of started with Johnny Johnson and Chuck Berry, where Chuck Berry, Johnny was writing songs like Johnny Be Good on the piano, which is kind of more, traditional jazz.
Right.
It was kind of fast, but more traditional jazz. But then Chuck Berry takes it and transposes it and put it on guitar with some electricity.
And then you had Big George Brock Sr. with all these blues clubs right over here on the east side where all the guys from the Mississippi Delta came up and played on their way to Chicago, and we know where rock and roll came from, right? Right there from them blues guys. Ask any of the British invasion guys where they got their stuff from.
It was that Delta blues line, but it was right here where like people say, Chuck Berry invented rock and roll, or Ike Turner invented rock and roll, it doesn't matter. They were all from this same
They
little
were
area.
all right here. And,
They were all right here.
The reason we brought up Ike is because James Brown, we found out, from interviewing Bonnie Bramlett, who was born right here in Alton, was the first white Ikette.
First and only
Only
ever.
for a week because she couldn't cross state lines with the group. It was illegal.
She was 15, yeah. And
Right.
She was a white girl. Couldn't cross state lines with the black guys.
But she pointed out to us that James Brown would send scouts up here to take Ike Turner's band members, and Ike would send scouts down to get James Brown.
Not just to try and poach members,
Right.
just to see their material and steal what they're doing and start making it your own.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's
that is a real thing. I want to make that. That's a point that, I think some people. I want to be inspired. I want to see somebody better than me. I want to
absolutely.
go. We all inspire each other. Like, there's no time for hate. Like, if I think
Life's too short for that.
people
man.
are worried about being upstaged. Like, no. Like, I want it. Please upstage me. Like, do something. Like, yeah.
Dude, I tell my teenage son, teenagers know everything. You can't teach them anything because they know everything. And I keep telling my 17-year-old son, who doesn't like to lose an argument, if he'll just, even if he's dead wrong, he doesn't want to give it up. And it's like, son, if you're right forever, if you never lose an argument, you're never going to learn anything. You're as smart as you'll ever be today. If you don't start listening to, you know what I mean? You gotta realize you don't know everything, and there's always people who know more or people who do better. And I'm with you, man. I love to go see people who do something that inspires me.
Mm-hmm.
I go see whether it's a musical show, whether it's art, whether it's putting on a performance, whatever it is. Just go, wow, how did they do that? How did they pull that off? How could I do it for $12? Because that's about what I got to do it.
And we're so lucky to have a lot of that around this area to check out each and every weekend, Pigpen, including this weekend. We got the all 60s and 70s Alton High School and Marquette High School reunion block party, number 4 combo. Going to play that from 6 to 10 down here on 3rd and Piasol Saturday.
Excellent.
So Pickin' Daisy's going to be at the Lodge from 7 to 10.
Sweet.
Lodge at Lovejoy.
Hot.
Sweet. Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Piasol
Absolutely.
Canyon going to be down at the Conservatory from 8 until 11:45. That's the Conservatory. The Alt Marina having their 27th anniversary party. Speaking of hot.
Hot. Yeah, I was going to say hot.
Live music by looping artist Jason Gordon from
Hot.
6 until 10 at the,
Ooh
I
la
still can't say,
la.
I guess that's Brensick Pavilion.
Brensick Pavilion. That's the way I would.
Yeah,
just do that.
BRNCIC, Michael. You're the word guy. BRNCIC.
Brensick.
Yeah, I got no clue.
Yeah, that's an odd one.
Brensick. We'll just go with that.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a pavilion down at the Alt Marina. Naked Soul 2 to 6. Truckers 7:30 to 11:30 at Fast Eddie's in Alton. And Kevin Gruen at the Sports Tap from 8 until 11.
All right.
In Alton.
We have a correction here. It's
Uh-oh.
Burnsick.
Burnsick, see?
Burnsick.
Somebody. I never can say that.
Yeah, well, there it is.
Mr. Burnsick. I'll never forget it now.
Smithers, who is this crazy guy?
Mr. Burnsick.
All right.
Pavilion. Porch Cafe out at Roper's Regal and Beagle on Saturday night. Pat Liston at Baker's and Hale
Nice.
from 7 to 10. The Fall Fest with the Town Criers up in Braedon at Snider Park from 5 until 8. And First Veterans Festival Day 2 with the Smokin' Oldies Band at 5 o'clock at the BFW in Cottage Hills. That goes all day from noon until 10 o'clock. Amoir, Rockin' for Recovery. This year, featuring Desperado.
I'm going to go and say that one's Amari.
Okay.
I'm just.
You can do it.
But before we have another correction,
I'd say it's AMARE.
Amari.
I'm sure it stands
Rockin'
for something.
Rockin' for Recovery.
Anyways, I know what Desperado is standing for, and that's an Eagles tribute. Fortunate Son, obviously a Creedence tribute.
Yep.
But there's your friends and mine.
Yeah.
Guest Hideous Gentleman.
Nice.
And a band called Dry Clean Only. From 4 until 9:30 at Central Park in Bethalto. So
All right.
got Audio Distilled going down at Blue Stem Vodka every Saturday from 4 to 7. Audio Rewind at the Pump House at 9 o'clock in Wood River. Lanny and Julie doing 1:30 to 4:30 at the Village of Elsa Fall Festival. Lots of fall festivals.
Nice.
Tripwire's doing something called Wrench Fest up at the Hog Pit from 2 to 6. In Grafton, Tanglefoot at the Loading Dock, 5 to 8 in Grafton, Rockabilly. Revival, 3 to 7 at Grafton Winery Brewhouse. I think it's Rockabilly Revival. They just wrote Rockabilly, so I'm not exactly.
Yeah.
Seems like that's who it always is, right?
Right.
Yankee Barbecue, that's a band. 1:30 to 5:30, and then Worth the Fight, WTF, 7 to 11 at Grafton Pub on Saturday. Dave King, noon to 3, and somebody at Aries from 3 to 7, as usual. Catfish Willie, 7 to 10 at the Bloody Bucket Saloon in Grafton. The Intrusion at the Oyster Bar from 7 to 11. We got the UMSL Irish Studies and the SIU Concert Band, 9 a.m. till noon at the Goshen Market in Edwardsville. Hard Drive out in Holiday Shores at the Marina Bar from 6 to 10. The Man in Black doing night number 2, a tribute to Johnny Cash at the Wild E. Scruffy-looking Nerf Herder around the corner at Big Daddy's from 6 to 9. And the Arts Fair, day number 2. It goes from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at City Park in Edwardsville. Flip the Frog at Fireman's Park in Maryville from 7 until 8:30. Strings and Keys at Lyle's Tavern in Maryville from 8 to 11. And Come Closer Duo. Come a little closer.
Come a little bit closer.
7 to 11 at the Cabin at Judy Creek. Come to Butthead. Come a little closer.
Yeah.
Remember that from the movie? Cottage Hills Wrestling Alliance, day 2, 7 p.m. The Bell at the Sports Academy in Glen Carbon. Sweet Treats at Swick. That's the name of like
Southwestern Illinois
I kind of feel
College.
like now you're just making stuff up.
no, I'm not.
Southwestern Illinois College.
Right. But Sweet Treats is like providing snacks.
Nice.
Right?
At
Because
Swick.
Scott and Michelle are providing the entertainment.
All right.
10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's the 40th anniversary of Swick.
Yeah, nice.
Squeeze
Hot.
Box out at the Prairie Inn in Dorsey. Day number 2 of the Hot Balloons.
All right.
Hot air balloons. They could be hot. Hunter Sharp from 3 to 6 and Little Sister at 7 o'clock. They're doing 2 launches on Saturday, including one at 7 a.m., sunrise launch.
Nice.
The Beyond FM, we love those guys.
Yeah.
They play all local music, all
the
St.
time.
Louis based, all day long.
Yep.
They're going to have their showcase with Blush, Sanity Switch, Hard Handed, Intrusive Minds, and Rust Belt at Pops and Sage. Of course, Experience Live Music Row going on down in Belleville. There's a Rocky Horror Picture Show.
There it is.
Presented live by Flustered Mustard.
I like the name.
Yeah, how about that for words? right?
Flustered mustard.
We're really not making this up, Michael. This
Nah,
is-
none of that was true. What you just said, I'm pretty sure.
Not
Pretty sure.
one word
But-
at you
but-
at all.
we got links to all this
All right,
stuff.
all right.
So you just stop by cottonmouth.org and start clicking links, and you'll see. I'm just following
Trust
along.
but verify.
Right. Fall Fest, another one out at Wild Pickens on Saturday. Soulshine Group 1 to 5, Borderline 6 to 10 at Wild Pickens, and I want you to read this next one, Pigpen, as you turn the
All
page.
right, here we go. We're going to hire us a wino to decorate our home. Blues and Grass, 2 to 6 at Hidden Lake in Aviston, Illinois. I don't know. We're going to hire us a wino to decorate our home.
Right.
That's the name of the
Exclamation
band.
point.
No, they're
I think that's
catching
the-
our attention.
I think that's just the
Those are my kind of people. I'm going to that event.
yeah,
Yeah.
Blues and Grass, 2
Okay.
to 6 p.m. at the
Yeah.
Hidden Lake
I'm there.
in Aviston, Illinois.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if I can find that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
hidden, but-
you can't get there from here.
Okay.
No,
Jonathan Baker Duo across the pond at the Long Shot Tiki Bar in Portage Day, Sioux. They're about to move inside.
Yeah.
Anyways, how about this? Shipyard Music Festival.
All right. Okay.
That's where Field's playing
Nice.
with National Park Radio, In the Pines, and many more in Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
All
So
right.
that's all
And
going on
Field
Saturday.
doing some good shows.
They're going to have day number 2 of the Edwardsville Arts R3 on Sunday. Sarah Springman Shoemake going to be at the Brown Bag Bistro.
Hot.
Just talked to her Saturday, and man, she's been in the studio and going to come in a little bit and talk to us here a
Nice.
few weeks down the road.
Fall Fest going on Sunday again up at Snider Park in Brighton. One of your favorite names, Pigpen, Captain Geach, and the Shrimp Shacks Shooters.
Captain
From
Geach
2
of the
until
Shrimp
5,
Shack
right.
Shooters.
All right, so that's all Sunday, and let's go through some of these other ones that are pretty interesting down here. Scott Michelle is playing with the Cellar Dwellers at Mr. Twist Fall Festival in Granite City, and the Granite City Social Club Ball Dance /concert So that's going on Delmar, 2060 Delmar in Granite City. The Owls
right.
up at the loading dock, across the line at Grafton Winery, Scott Logan at the Vineyards, Jim and Carl at Aries, and Gatorhead at Grafton Pub, and then out at Prairie Inn in Dorsey, Soulshine Groove. Midwest Avenue at Tucker's Pub in Eldred, and another Fall Fest night up at Wild Pickens with the Subs, Rumors across the pond at the Long Shot Tiki Bar in Portage de Sioux. And I've been waiting to get to this, Pigpen, and that's why I got a Monday. So,
Okay.
You remember Ruby Lee?
Oh yeah,
We've talked about Ruby,
the young singing girl, Dolly Parton's type.
So Monday
singing.
night you can tune in to NBC
Right.
live to The Voice.
Nice.
And Ruby Lee, 16 years old.
Oh wow,
will-
she's 16 now.
Right,
Man,
right.
time flies. She was a little girl last time I saw her.
Right,
I mean,
and-
16 is still pretty much a little girl, more a teenager.
Right. Yeah. So she'll be performing on The Voice. Now they're having the official watch party for her at her first venue she ever played when she was 13 years old.
Wow.
JP's Hideout
Chuck E. Cheese?
down in Cotterville, Missouri.
Yeah, I used to jam with the drummer in the Chuck E. Cheese band, the Bear.
Right.
He was good, man.
So JP's Hideout is where she debuted at 13
Nice.
and has played there every 2 weeks since 2021.
Wow, nice. There you go, man.
So yeah.
All right.
That's
Well, they're
it.
that good for Ruby Lee, man.
Yeah.
So she does have a great voice. So
We can get
best
her
of
on.
luck to her.
She'll come.
Yeah. Yeah,
hang
we will
out
have
with
to
us.
reach out to her. I didn't know about this, or I probably would have already
2 more years.
reached out and talked to her.
2 more years, her mom will let her talk to you.
No, you cannot even. She cannot come on your show. Yeah, there are.
She'll be huge by then.
Well, there are definitely like rules and paperwork in place to not let me too close
Right.
to children, so or schoolyards or any of that.
We kid.
It is a wee kid, a little bitty kid, a wee kid. Yeah, well, go ahead, Matt. What you got?
I know that we're running out of time.
That's all
I
right.
just want to throw a couple things out here.
Yeah.
Hey, first of all, I collect Bakelite radios, those funky radios from like the 60s that are made out of that stuff called Bakelite. So if
Right.
anybody out there has a broken Bakelite funky looking radio, contact me or drop it off the Conservatory. And also, I'm getting ready to make a artwork that is based on classic cars, and I'm looking for
Nice.
like a 1950s or 60s front end of a Cadillac, like the first,
Wow.
like the front 6 inches of a Cadillac. I need the front 6 inches of an entire front of a
Right.
60s Cadillac. So if anybody has a completely trashed Cadillac that I can cut the front 6 or 8 inches off of, I'm looking for the front of a classic car. That's it.
Or if you own a junkyard and you know there's a car out there and you got a torch, you could cut it off for him.
Yeah.
Get a hold of Mike Snider.
Yeah, I'll buy it.
And if you want to get a hold of him, you could probably just find him at the Conservatory where his art is up every day.
You can
of the
Google
week.
Cooliverse
Right.
and get in touch with me.
Absolutely. I'm just trying to get people to go see your art at the Conservatory.
Go to the Conservatory, see my art. It'll change your life.
Yes.
You own that word, don't you? Cooliverse.
Cooliverse. Well, you know, I tried
That's his
to
word.
copyright it and all that, but basically, I'm at the point where I believe it's my intellectual property. I got it in the Urban Dictionary.
That's what I was trying to remember.
I also own the rights for the Kooliverse.com, which, hey, I need a website too that I don't have.
So go over Couture Night one more time for us, September 29th, who your artists are going to be.
Luann Brantz, come check her out. She's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
that's
There you
that's
go.
about it.
Uh-huh.
And I'll be home in a little bit, Chunky.
Chunky.
Right,
Chunky.
Chunky.
Coming
Good
home,
boy.
Chunky. Good
Chunk.
boy, Chunky. Is a good boy.
Chunky.
Feed you some Chunky.
Chunky. Chunky. I know he's at home, like
He's
listening to the
spinning.
radio, like going, "What? What?
Chase your tail.
You're
Right.
Chunky,
You
Chunky.
want treats? You want treats?
Oh, that's just
I'm coming home. I'll be home in 10 minutes,
Oh,
Chunky, and you're gonna
mean,
have treats."
All right. Hey, thanks, Mr. Mike.
Thanks for having me, guys.
coming down, and you're coming out to help with Family Fest in a couple weeks. I'll thank you in advance
yeah.
for that because I know you do a lot of work for local festivals and stuff, trying to help us out with putting up your art, bringing the scaffolding, bringing the cool stuff like your kaleidoscope and your big wings, and you got a lot of you got a lot of cool stuff.
Everybody look up Framley Fest. Come on out to Framley
Right.
Fest. It's really cool. And also we got Arctica coming up, which is the festival for the local St. Louis Burning Man chapter.
Nice.
Arctica. Look
Yeah.
it up. It's in downtown St. Louis, and it's like Burning Man. It's no rules.
Nice.
So
nice.
check it.
Right on. Well, that is Mr. Mike Snider, a.k.a. Kooliverse. As we say, his art, a lot of his art is up all the time at the Conservatory. You just stop in, have a drink, walk upstairs for sure. His art's downstairs too, but just walk upstairs. It is worth it. A bunch of great art up there.
Great work.
We will catch you, if I don't see you this coming weekend, I'll see you next weekend down at the festival. And man, thanks to our sponsors, Halpin Music. Thanks to Matt Van Voorhis, and who's he promoting this week?
Town Club,
Town
Mr.
Club.
Donut,
There you go.
Midwest Motorsports.
All that stuff.
So what Matt Van Voorhis does, Michael, and you'll like this, that's what I'm going to tell you, he gives his advertising to his friends. So he pays for it, but he just gives us a different name to mention. Some
Dig
friends of his.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty cool, man.
Absolutely.
Everyone working together, which you've stressed a few times that, your last interview talked about, getting this music scene, which is a cool thing we've got right here in Alton, but making it bigger and better, right?
Yeah.
That reminds me of patronage. Without patronage, some of the best art in the world would have never been made. The Renaissance,
Right.
without the Medici in the church, think how much massive amount of art that's still around today would have never been made. Listen,
Right.
if you can help the arts or music in any way, do it.
Yes.
Yeah, for real.
Yes. And
And they will help you back by throwing a benefit or something like that. It will raise you a lot of
Just
money
listen,
when
if
you
you want to
need
be
it.
gangster cool and you got a little money but no street credit, go support somebody.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For real.
The best thing you can do, and what we encourage you to do at the end of every show, is get out and support local music and art.